If you can, talk to us a little bit about the biggest changes we're going to see, what we do and don't know here.
Hey, Todd, a lot of this is because of Canada's vaccination numbers. Let's just face it, if you read through the lines, Canada's doing very well when it comes to vaccinations. So that means we're on track to be immunized up around 80%. That's the number that they've been talking about. And I want to show you, let's start with some of the major changes, as you pointed out in the intro there. Yes, fully vaccinated Americans and permanent residents are going to be able to come into Canada for discretionary travel. That means, to go shopping in Montreal kind of thing. Fully vaccinated travelers, they will not need to quarantine. Fully vaccinated travelers, however, will need a pre-arrival test. So American citizens and PRs, if they're in the US, they need to get a test 72 hours. It has to be negative, and they have to upload that to the ArriveCan app. Also, some more changes that are being brought forward here. We do know that hotel quarantine facilities, they are going to be closing on August 9th. A lot of questions. I have to tell you, my Twitter is just full of it. What about kids? Unvaccinated children with a fully vaccinated guardian, parent, whatever, they will not have to quarantine for 14 days. But you know what? What we heard from the ministers, Todd, was a lot of what I call GBS, gros bon sens, common sense. Because kids aren't quarantining and kids cannot get vaccinated, ministers are saying, don't go sending these children to day camps. Keep them, in relatively close circles at home. Don't risk exposing other people. There are also changes that are coming to airports. Right now, international flights only land at these 4 airports. We're talking about Vancouver, we're talking about Calgary, Toronto, and Montreal. That is being expanded to include Edmonton, Winnipeg, Quebec City, as well as Ottawa, Todd.
Now, what about on the American side of things, Michel? It's a little bit more complicated. For example, if you want to drive to the border from where you are in Ottawa, in early August, will you be allowed to cross that land border or not? Or what will the restrictions be? Do we know?
Maybe, knock on wood, if a family member was dying, but if it's going to be to drive down to New York City, no. The answer is no. That is not essential. Now, we do know that Canada and the United States are talking. Bill Blair today saying that he had a conversation with his counterpart, the Secretary of Homeland Security, to make him aware of what was going to be announced today. But at this point, the United States hasn't changed its restrictions on non-discretionary travel. The message out of the Canadian government today is, while they are loosening things here and while we are getting more and more vaccination, the message is not, book your next flight out. The COVID-19 is still very real, but they do want to make it a little bit more realistic, given the fact that for months and months and months now, well, 16 months, Todd, they've been preaching that they're going based on science. And this is what the science is telling them. Yeah,
and what's so weird, Michel, as you know, is this massive loophole where people are still able to fly into the U.S. if they want. We've all heard of people who are, in New York City right now, and they are able to do that. The land border is a different story. A lot of American politicians from different states along the border have been advocating for a reopening. So perhaps the White House will follow suit in the next couple of days. What about other countries, though, besides the U.S.? What do we know there?
Well, at this point, that's why the feds are starting with this first stage, starting in August. Then in September, they're talking about maybe opening it up to the rest of the world. But the Delta variant is still a very real threat. Look at Australia. I mean, their vaccination rates were only 10, 11% fully vaccinated, very, very different from what we're seeing here. And now they're in lockdown as well. So, they want to start slow, open the door a crack, see what happens. And then they want to see what happens before and make sure that these systems work before opening the country up to the rest of the world.
Thanks for this, Michel. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Todd.